First of all, happy Tuesday and happy first trading day of the month. It's always good being back after a longer weekend. For me, it was a 4-day weekend, so I'm just stoked to be back. What we want to actually talk about today is some of the basics. I want to take a step back. It is the first trading day of the month after all, and really today wasn't really that exciting. We had some smaller movers pre-market, and I feel like I don't really want to dive into these individual tickers so long. So let's take a step back, go to the basics, and try to figure out what exactly I did today to make me profit. All right, let's go to the trading screen and see here what I traded. So I traded 2 tickers today. Really simple stuff, but only because I've been doing it for as long as I have been doing it, which is roughly about 2 years long, this specific strategy. So just put that into the back burner and keep that in mind. Because some of you guys are going to be looking at this for the first time being like, Alex, I don't know what the heck is going on. Please explain a little bit more. What we're looking at right now is a ticker, which we call a gapper, because this right here, this gray area is pre-market, and it gapped up in this pre-market zone around 50%, and that's where I was trading it. I did trade it a little bit in this market open. Market opens at 9:30. I did a little bit more trading here, but ultimately I do stop trading around 10, which is right around this area, and I didn't really find much of this very interesting, so I no longer traded it. If you're curious how much I'm up today, let's quickly go to the profit P&L, close this, my orders, and boom, there you see it. I'm up $806 today on MTEK. I'm up $430 on RBCN, which we'll talk about in a second as well. I'm up $370. So that's basically what was going on. And why was I trading this ticker? Well, it's really simple. I have a scanner here, Top Gainers, and I like to use the personal pre-market right here, dot number 2. And then if you guys want to look at that, all it is right here is if I go to edit the scanner, this is what it looks like. I'm basically scanning for tickers between 50 cents and max. I don't know if I need a max. I should probably limit this, but I'm never crazy about putting too many limits in, because sometimes it starts skipping tickers or messes things up. I'm looking for tickers with a decent market cap, at least over 1 million. I don't really want to trade these penny stocks, really small companies. Usually I don't even trade sub dollars, but I do like to look at it because I know a lot of you guys are as well. So I like to keep an eye on those companies, and sometimes they do even pop over $1. Yeah, market cap here, and then after hours, I'm looking for pre-market change after the close with a move of greater than 10%. So that's really what I'm looking for. Something that's moving after hours based on yesterday's close. That's simple. And then I have this scanner right in this area that updates pre-market. Right now, it's not showing anything because it's no longer pre-market. And then I use my Top Gainers scanner after the pre-market opens, which is pretty much the same thing. I'll just quickly show you guys it here as well. Edit Top Gainers, and I have a whole entire video on my pre-market scanner that you guys can check out as well. So this one just really looks for that percent change after the market opens, or just in general with the last price range. So that basically the bid and a simple market cap. So very simple scanners, and I see these tickers popping up. That's how I found MTEK today. That's how I found RBCN and LYTE, which was another pretty interesting ticker, but I actually did not trade that one. I probably should have, but it's fine. You can't trade them all. So coming back here, MTEK was popping up. The daily was looking nice. It had, look at this, high relative volume. See this huge volume spike? That's what I like to see. It also broke some big resistance zones. And what actually we'll do is go to the daily here and zoom in a little bit more. So it broke a huge resistance zone around 1.5. And that was actually happening pre-market right here. You can see it popped up, and I didn't really trade it till we were breaking that 1.5, because I like to see tickers with that high momentum. And they're breaking resistance zones. A lot of traders are looking at it, and that's when I start jumping in on it as well, because I am, after all, a momentum day trader. Some people say gap and go trading because we're looking for those pre-market gappers, and then hopefully at the market open, they continue to go. Some simple vocabulary right there. Anyway, this ticker pops up, that 1.5 zone pre-market keeps riding, and at the market open, it wasn't really able to do so much. It opened here, it popped a little bit higher, sold off again. I don't know. I wasn't crazy about it at the market open. I also didn't get maybe as aggressive on it as I maybe could have, should have. Ultimately, there's still a lot of resistance on this ticker. We never really broke over this major 2.2 zone, probably because there's a lot of back holders on this ticker. So this ticker is up, today quite a lot. Almost 100% at one point. So if you're up 100% almost on a ticker like this, and you've been holding for the last few months, you might just be dumping. And that's probably why this ticker is struggling right here. It's an electronics equipment company industry. All right, 7.8 million shares outstanding. That's really nice, and a 14 million market cap. Those are really nice numbers. I like to see shares outstanding below 10 million and a market cap below 50 million, ideally in that $10 million range as well. And I actually have a checklist here on tradejournal.co/start. Step number 2, I have my slides and checklist, and boom, there it is. And if you just scroll down, here's my pre-market checklist, and this is where I talk about all this stuff. So I'm not going to dive into it individually too much in this video. I have several videos that cover this topic. I have even a whole entire video series you can check out right here. You can get access to it totally free, and then you can see the checklist here. So I just want to give you guys a brief overview of my strategy and how I went about today as well. So let's keep going back here and let's see a little bit more how this checklist plays out. So I'm looking for a ticker between $2 and $7 ideally. Again, like I said, on my scanner you saw that 50%. So I'm a little bit open-minded when it comes to that, but I feel like when there's a ticker between $2 and $7, you have a lot of these small cap momentum day traders like myself looking at it. With the sub-dollar stocks, the spreads are usually a little bit more nasty. A lot of traders don't trade it because they pay per share or they pay per trade or both, and these sub-dollars get very expensive. So I like to trade these small caps is really what we call it. They're not really penny stocks. Then again, at this point, we're arguing in semantics, and there's a lot of people that call these things different things. I like to just say small caps because ultimately that's what they are. They have small capitalizations, and they're not necessarily penny stocks because they're $2 to $7, sometimes $15, so on and so forth. I'm really looking for tickers that are gapping pre-market a little bit more than like 20%. I've reduced that mentally a little bit just because we're in a bear market. There was a time where we were pretty much only trading tickers over 100%. So I like to see basically a strong ticker pre-market with good momentum. And look at this right here, a news catalyst. So let's see what was moving this ticker. Looks like they had some sort of purchase order for a lunar mission. They do sell electronic equipment. Okay, so there's a new catalyst coming out, purchase order. That's really good. Kind of really shows sustainability, or not sustainability necessarily, but longevity, a healthy company. They're making something that people want, so that's really good. So they have a more or less sustainable business model in that regard. So that's really nice to see. And then coming back here, I like to see strong spike history and good daily room to run. So this one doesn't necessarily have strong spike history. Sometimes you'll see a ticker that really pops up and maybe holds its highs or something like that. This ticker really doesn't have any of that, so that's a little bit of a red flag, but that's fine. I do like the fact that if it broke this 220 zone, there would be a lot of room to run till I would probably argue somewhere around this zone, 250 or so. There's probably more resistance in this area, and then somewhere near here at 3.5, and then maybe a new all-time high. So those are zones I'm looking for. It does have limited room to run because there's a lot of resistance. It's not a blue sky setup, as we say, where there's no resistance above and you're at an all-time high price and you just don't know where it can go. Those are really, really exciting. This one has these big resistance zones based on former support, former resistance. You can see there's a retest here that it needs to kind of break above. And that's what means, room to run right here. Good daily chart, room to run. Now let's go to the 1 minute and see how I ended up trading this one a little bit more in detail. Popped up here, and like this is that 1.5 zone I was looking at. Then it crawls up here, breaks at 150, and this is where I was like, all right, let's go for it. I like what I'm seeing, so I jump in with some decent size. Nothing too crazy. I'm trying to trade around $10,000 per trade, but it always fluctuates. We'll go into my stats a little bit more right at the end of this video. So I trade this one front side here. What is a front side? A front side to me is when the price is over the 9 EMA and ideally VWAP on the 5-minute chart and the 1 minute chart. So 1 minute, 5 minute, daily. Daily is for mapping those critical support and resistance zone. 5 minute for me is that general trend, looking for like healthy, good risk reward setups. And the 1 minute is really all about execution, looking for those 5 minute breakouts, 1 minute pullbacks, good entries, so on and so forth. And let's see here. So this one breaks out, retests this area, and launches again right here in this zone, 10%. This was pretty nice, and I didn't really get much of this, which was a little bit unfortunate. But I got like a decent little chunk, little bite-sized piece. This is really where I made my big blunder. This was kind of annoying. I went here for the pullback trade, and I was looking for this move right here. This was a 10% pop. I actually sold the majority of my position here, and then I got this pop right here, and then I sold this one, ended up going a little bit more. What I did right, though, was I bought back on this first pullback after the breakout, and then I sold on this pop. So this was actually a good trade. This was a really, really bad trade. Really, I'm looking for that continuation. What I messed up right here was I overthought, and I started trading my interpretation of the price. I was like, I just don't trust it anymore. Who cares what I trust or don't trust? Really, I should be looking at the charts and having them tell me exactly what I should be doing. And this one, did it break the 9 EMA? No. Is it still on a healthy uptrend on the 5 minute? Yes. On the 1 minute? Yes. Everything is looking good. So I should have been getting a lot more aggressive and holding my position here. Not to mention, look at this. The volume profile is really important. I know I'm throwing a lot on you guys right now, but I have a lot of videos that go into each one of these topics a little bit more in detail. But this is a really good thing to do for even, intermediate and advanced traders. Just take a step back. See if I hit all the check marks. Volume profile in this one. also selling off right here as the price is selling off. So that's really, really good sign. You want to be careful if the price, like if this right here was selling off and there was divergence, so the volume was going lower as the price was increasing, that's divergence. That you don't want that. So we weren't seeing that. That was really good. We only had the price sell off when the volume sold off. So that's a really, really healthy sign. So I should have sized into this position huge, and this should have been a big winner. So that was my big mistake right here for today, for sure. I at least was able to come back and trade this one right here. I didn't have any FOMO or do anything kind of silly, and was able to just go right back into it instead of being like, oh, I'm gonna wait for a pullback. Nope, this had a confirmation breakout. I should be trading it, and that's what I did. At the market open, I was a little bit lazy here. I didn't get aggressive on this one like I should have. It ran 19-20% without me. I did trade this candle, but with smaller size, but at least I traded it. I traded it again right here as well. But I could have done a lot better. I was kind of feeling like this ticker was having a tough time in this area, so I was no longer trading this pullback, which I maybe should have done. I always like to say that your last trade should probably be red, because that's how you know you're not overthinking it. You're just following the price, and when the ticker is no longer on the front side, then you start giving back profits. But at least you traded the whole move. There's nothing worse, especially like in a bull market when a ticker goes up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 500%. We've even seen a 3,000 and a 5,000% runner. And if you just stop trading that at one point because you're like, oh, it's too extended, you're going to potentially miss out on a lot of profit. So you don't want to be your own worst obstacle. You don't want to get in the way of yourself. So I did that a little bit today. I kind of overthought it, but at the end of the day, it is a first trading day of the week after a holiday weekend, and it's a bear market, so I don't like getting super aggressive right now. It definitely helps me manage my risk, but at the same time, I don't want to be overly biased on any specific situation, because when you start bringing your biases into the trading room, you start making mistakes, you start tripping over your biases, and as you see, that's what I did here a little bit. I do wrap up usually by 10 o'clock, not specifically because I don't like the market after 10 o'clock, but because I trade because I want to live the life that I want to live. I want to have freedom and flexibility. So I'm like, I want to trade 3 hours a day. Boom, I'm done. There was some opportunity here. I even know Tom, he jumped on this one right at the breakout, and he actually got a really, really nice trade. I'm not totally sure what he made on it, but I know it was a pretty good trade. He was pretty stoked about it. So this is amazing. This is a quick VWAP breakout, 5-minute breakout, and he just jumped right into it. But you got to take profits quick. So this was pretty nasty. And it's easy to lose money on stuff like this. I feel like the market gets a little bit more shaky after 10 o'clock, but sometimes, like today, when it's a really slow market, you actually see sometimes some of the nicest moves after like 10 o'clock, just because pre-market and market open were a little bit lousy today. Let's really quickly go to RBCN, see what kind of similarities we'll see on this one. This was a tough ticker. Big breakout here. They had some sort of buy order. Let's see here. Shares are trading higher after the company announced entering definitive stock purchase and sale. Right here, agreement of Janel Corporation. So this corporation, Janel, wants to buy some of their stock, and I looked into it. It looks like it's around $20, but you don't know if it's going to go through and whatnot. So there's always risk involved. It's like basically Elon saying that he wants to buy Tesla, but you don't really know. The company Tesla, Elon's saying he wants to buy Twitter, but you don't really know. So that's basically what's going on here. Janel Corporation is more or less saying that they want to buy RBCN at $20, but you don't really know if it's going to go through or whatnot, and it's not for the whole company, so it's just a portion of it. So you just don't really know, and that's why it's kind of chilling right around here at $15, trying to find its new valuation. And semiconductor company, 2.5 million shares outstanding and 36 market cap. So it fits a lot of the check marks. And this company right now, I'm pretty sure, unless we do the weekly, is, well, okay, this could be a different stock actually at this point, or does a lot of reverse splits. I'm not totally sure. I didn't fully look into it. What I like about my strategy is I often don't really care what a ticker has done at a certain point. I really like to focus on the technicals and not dive so much into the news. It really helps me stay focused. So let's see here. In recent history, this is an all-time high for this company, so that's looking really good. It looks like it probably might have some dilution and a lot of bag holders if it is that same company at 450 and reverse split. So this company most likely is bleeding a lot of cash. You want to keep that in mind. So by no means do I want to hold any of these companies long term. I'm only trading it very, very intraday. Anyway, this company pops up really quick here, then starts consolidating, does a little bit pop. Usually I'll probably trade some of this. It's back above VWAP, but I was kind of snoozing on it. I was looking at it on the 5-minute, and I wasn't really super crazy about it at this point. For some reason, I go in with pretty big size here, and this was actually quite an accident. I traded right in this area on the 5-minute right here. And I only do that because I thought I was trading the 1-minute. This is what happens sometimes on a first trading day of the week. I didn't really have my coffee. I was a little bit this is embarrassing to actually say. I was trading like this. It was the 5-minute chart, and I thought I was looking at the 1-minute chart, and I was like, okay, well, having a nice little pullback. Let me see for some continuation. Then I entered the trade, and like 30 seconds later, I'm like, oh my god, on the 5-minute chart, I go to the 1-minute. I'm like, this sticker is looking really sketchy. We're technically on a range trade. I try to close my whole position here. I didn't get it. Flushes back down, pops back up, and I close the rest of my position. At this point, I'm pretty much in a trade I don't want to be in. So I'm just going to close at all costs, and that's what I did here. Also, with really unnecessarily large size, I was chasing right here into this breakout, and I didn't get filled. All of a sudden, there was a flash pullback. I got my fills, and it pops up, and I just close. This is probably like the most embarrassing, and just I think if there's a lesson to walk away here, is just like always double check, always be really attentive when you're trading, and never trade sick, drowsy, hungover, all those rules. I've done all of them, and I have now a rule where, like, if I'm hungover, if I'm sick, I just don't trade, because you will make a lot of mistakes. So obviously, these things happen when you're fully alert as well, but they're more likely to happen when you're not fully in it. And then we have a little bit of a move right here with RBCN, where it has a VWAP breakout and nice 5-minute breakout as well. It's a little bit hard to see on the 5-minute chart, but here there was a 5-minute breakout. I jump right here. I jump in on this 1-minute pullback, take this profit, and walk away, this time with a little bit more normal size. Yeah, and that's how I was able to walk away with $806 today. Pretty smooth day. I got a little bit lucky, especially on my mistake trade. Obviously, this was very large size on a bad position, so this one could have went south very quickly. I'm a little bit disappointed in myself on that, but with MTEK, I think I did most things right. I just missed a few opportunities, so I probably could have done a little bit better there. It's always like nice looking back and being like, oh, I could have done a lot better today, but I'm still, up decently, so I really can't complain. And then just really fast here, these are my stats for today. So I had a winning ratio of 77%. Usually it's closer to like 67%. Right here, you'll see my average position cost was around $9,000. This is what I was saying. I'm looking for around $10,000, a little bit more. Largest winning trade. It's nice that I have a positive risk reward ratio. Usually it's closer to 1-to-1. I only did 9 trades today, so these statistics aren't super significant. You really want to be looking at your statistics over the course of a month or the year. That's when it means a little bit more. But on the intraday, I do like to look at it as well. And then you'll see my running P&L. We're in July 5th right now. You can see here at the market open, I gave back a little bit of profits, but I was able to maintain my green streak, which was really nice. For June, you'll see a little bit more here, obviously, for a full entire month. And then for the P&L calendar, you'll see this is the first, so $806 for July. Let's hope that we can maintain a nice little streak. It is a short week after all, but that's fine. I'm going to be doing a whole entire June recap. We're going to be diving into some of the strategies a little bit more, so definitely stay tuned for that. If you guys want more information on my day trading strategy, just go to tradejournal.co/start. And if you want to get on a one-on-one call with me, consider checking out one of these challenges. Right now, I'm doing it totally free. I'm trying to get on as many calls with as many traders as possible to learn what you guys are going through, to learn some of the biggest issues. I know I've just done it myself, but I kind of want to see what you guys are currently thinking, especially right now that we're in a bear market. So I always love to hear your feedback and get your guys' questions. That allows me to make even more tailored videos. All right, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Like always, stay safe and make some awesome trades. Ciao.